Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well? Is the sound clear? Let's see the confirmation. Okay, I see that the sound is clear. So, welcome everyone to today's event. I'm happy to start this event with all you guys. I'm motivated to start, and let's give some minutes for those who can join us today. Today, inshallah, will be a big event. And let me explain to you quickly before Abdelrahman, our speaker today, will introduce you to some concepts about machine learning for those who are new, and for those who know already about machine learning, they are also good information. So I want to, before I start, I want to see how many viewers are here. Say hello. Where are you from? Is there here any non-Arabic speakers? So we can stick with Arabic. ممكن نتكلم بالعربي أو ممكن نتكلم a little bit in English. It's up to you. So let's see. Okay, we have Ithar, Iran, plans. I don't really know Arabic well. So yeah, we will, I know there will be non-Arab speakers today. So we will mix it a little bit. Like we will speak in mostly in English. And if you have guys any questions, anything not clear, please ask in the chat. We are here. We have a great team that will help you and assist you in the chat. So I'll say it again in Arabic. احنا ان شاء الله السلام عليكم everyone. هنتكلم ان شاء الله عن introduction to machine learning، وهنخلي السيشن little bit بالانجليزي وشويه بالعربي عشان we have non-Arabic speakers, so we will mix it up. So I think we should start now. So time is we are on time. So let me just, before I give Abdelrahman the mic and we start the session, let me tell you who we are and what's the plan, what's the vision. So we are Google Developer Student Clubs. So we are clubs from the MENA region in different countries. We have University of Bahrain, we have University of Khartoum from Sudan, we have University of Sana'a from Yemen, as well as Lebanese International University from Sana'a as well, from Yemen. And we have a GDC from Egypt, GDC Tanta. For those who don't know what is GDC, it's short for Google Developer Student Clubs, and it's a program for students to help each other grow in technology, and we help each other like يعني نطور من نفسنا. زي ما انا قلت في البدايه we have non-Arabic speakers, so احنا هنتكلم بالعربي وشويه بالانجليزي. فاللي واقف عليه اي شيء او مش فاهم اي شيء يتفضل، احنا معاك في الكومنتس. Now I will give you Abdelrahman the mic. So please, the floor is yours. And I hope everybody benefits from today's session. تفضل عبد.
Okay, awesome. Can you guys hear me well? Just write yes in the chat or All right. Cool. Okay, awesome. Welcome everyone to today's session. Today we will have an introductory session about what is machine learning and some different ways, different methods that uses machine learning in the real world. Um, and also this is a part of a series that we will conduct through this month to walk you through the ML track. This is basically the introduction. After the introduction, we will have different sessions, hands-on sessions about different ways that you can use and apply AI and machine learning. And hopefully everyone benefits from it, and everything will be awesome. Thank you guys for joining in for today's session. Cool. Okay. السلام عليكم شباب. النهاردة السيشن هتبقى عن الماشين ليرنينج، الذكاء الاصطناعي. هتبقى بارت من سلسلة إيفنتات هنعملها في المستقبل إن شاء الله، تمشي معاكم في الذكاء الاصطناعي وإزاي تستخدمه وإزاي تطبقه في العالم الواقعي وإزاي الناس بتستخدمه في طرق مختلفة. النهاردة هتبقى سيشن خفيفة، هتبقى مقدمة عن الماشين ليرنينج. في ناس بتقول عايزينك تتكلم عربي وفي ناس معنا أجانب، فهحاول أعمل ميكس بين الاتنين، لأن كده في بعض الكونسبتس لازم تتعرف بالإنجليزي أو تتقال بطريقة معينة بالإنجليزي. بس إن شاء الله لو حد عنده أي أسئلة أو مش فاهم نقطة معينة يكتبها في الشات، والناس اللي متابعة الشات هتوصل لي الأسئلة على طول. أوكي تمام. شكرا جميعا على حضوركم النهاردة. يلا بينا نبدأ. طيب أوكي awesome. طيب إيه فكرتكم يا جماعة عن الماشين ليرنينج؟ حد عنده أي تعريف سريع أو أي حد عنده فكرة عن الماشين ليرنينج؟ Just a quick icebreaker for you guys. Just write in the chat or the comments what is machine learning? What do you understand when you hear machine learning? And maybe you can write what is your experience level with machine learning. Let us see. Ithar said is to write a code that learn on its own on how to solve problems. That's a good way of explaining it. Teaching machines to do certain tasks, Vance said. It's also a good description. Ahmed is saying, I think it's going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and such things, like robots and robotics. Okay, there are some applications in AI and machine learning and robotics. That's true. Awesome. So just to ask you really quickly. Okay, Pooja is saying that an integration of software with artificial intelligence, implementing problem-solving skills, and calculating outcomes in certain problems. Thank you for sharing, Pooja. Laila is saying use historical data as input to predict new output values. That's great. Awesome. So thank you guys for participating in defining machine learning. And basically, you all got the most of the concepts right. So let's have a quick introduction about machine learning through this video, this short video. Let's watch it together.
Our ability to learn and get better at tasks through experience is part of being human. When we're born, we know almost nothing and can do almost nothing for ourselves. But soon, we're learning and becoming more capable every day. But did you know that computers can do the same? Machine learning brings together statistics and computer science to enable computers to learn how to do a given task without being programmed to do so. Just as your brain uses experience to improve at a task, so can computers. Say you need a computer who can tell the difference between a picture of a dog and a picture of a cat. You could begin by feeding it images and telling it, this one's a dog, that one's a cat. A computer programmed to learn will seek statistical patterns within the data that will enable it to recognise a cat or a dog in the future. It might figure out on its own that cats have shorter noses and that dogs come in a larger variety of sizes, and then represent that information numerically, organising it in space. But, crucially, it's the computer, not the programmer, that identifies those patterns and establishes the algorithm by which future data will be sorted. One example of a simple yet highly effective algorithm is to find the optimal line separating cats from dogs. When the computer sees a new picture, it checks which side of the line it falls on and then says either cat or dog. But of course there can be mistakes. The more data the computer receives, the more finely tuned its algorithm becomes, and the more accurate it can be in its predictions. Machine learning is already widely applied. The technology behind facial recognition, text and speech recognition, spam filters on your inbox, online shopping or viewing recommendations, credit card fraud detection, and so much more. At the University of Oxford, machine learning researchers are combining statistics and computer science to build algorithms that can solve more complex problems more efficiently, using less computing power. From medical diagnoses to social media, the potential of machine learning to transform our world is truly mind-blowing. To find out more about machine learning, visit Oxford Spark.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I think my mic had a bit of an echo. I will repeat the video again, and you can watch it again.
Our ability to learn and get better at tasks through experience is part of being human. When we're born, we know almost nothing and can do almost nothing for ourselves. But soon, we're learning and becoming more capable every day. But did you know that computers can do the same? Machine learning brings together statistics and computer science to enable computers to learn how to do a given task without being programmed to do so. Just as your brain uses experience to improve at a task, so can computers. Say you need a computer that can tell the difference between a picture of a dog and a picture of a cat. You could begin by feeding it images and telling it, this one's a dog, that one's a cat. A computer programmed to learn will seek statistical patterns within the data that will enable it to recognise a cat or a dog in the future. It might figure out on its own that cats have shorter noses and that dogs come in a larger variety of sizes, and then represent that information numerically, organising it in space. But, crucially, it's the computer, not the programmer, that identifies those patterns and establishes the algorithm by which future data will be sorted. One example of a simple yet highly effective algorithm is to find the optimal line separating cats from dogs. When the computer sees a new picture, it checks which side of the line it falls on and then says either cat or dog. But of course, there can be mistakes. The more data the computer receives, the more finely tuned its algorithm becomes, and the more accurate it can be in its predictions. Machine learning is already widely applied. It's the technology behind facial recognition, text and speech recognition, spam filters on your inbox, online shopping or viewing recommendations, credit card fraud detection, and so much more. At the University of Oxford, machine learning researchers are combining statistics and computer science to build algorithms that can solve more complex problems more efficiently, using less computing power. From medical diagnoses to social media, the potential of machine learning to transform our world is truly mind-blowing. To find out more about machine learning, visit oxfordsparks.ox.ac.uk, follow us on Twitter, and find us on Facebook.
Awesome, great. Okay, guys, after seeing the video, is the concept of machine learning or AI changed for you? Or can you come up with another definition of machine learning? Okay, great. Awesome. Pooja is saying it's very clear and straightforward after the video. That's awesome. طيب يا جماعة، هل عندكم أي أفكار بعد ما شفتوا الفيديو أو تعريفات معينة جت في دماغكم؟ Someone is saying making a mathematical model that can be trained with data. That's a good definition. Another person said self-learning, training machines. That's awesome. That's cool. Thank you guys for sharing. So basically, yeah, machine learning is a modern software development technique that enables computers to solve problems by using example of real-world data. So basically, الموضوع كله إن الماشين ليرنينج هي تقنية بنستخدمها عشان نحل مشاكل واقعية إحنا بنعيشها أو نوصل لنتيجة معينة إحنا عايزينها باستخدام داتا already موجودة عشان نعمل تنبؤات بالمستقبل أو predictions. Okay, great. Okay. في بعض الناس التانية ممكن تفسرها بطريقة مختلفة إن هو الماشين learning is a specific field of AI where a system learns to find patterns, for example, make things in order or make predictions or something like that. Okay, cool. All right. You can go to this website, crowdsource.app, to download the app. If you already have a crowdsource app, you can open the smart camera task. So basically, this application, as you might say, it's an application provided by Google to make you basically have like a little game. So take pictures of something that is around you and let a predictive model see if it's correct. It guesses what it is, and if it's correct, you can say it is correct. If it's wrong, you can specify why it's wrong and what it is. So basically, you can try real-world machine learning on your smartphone, as well as help the prediction model enhances as well, or improve. So that's a cool idea. If you want to download the app, we will provide the link in the description as well. Okay, cool. So basically, when you open the smart camera task and point your camera to any object around you, as an example, a bottle, book, etc., it identifies what it is, and you can see if it recognizes the thing that you are taking a picture of or not. Okay, cool. Just try it by yourself, and if you find something interesting, you can let us know in the chat as well. Okay, cool. So what do you think, how do you think the image identification work? انتوا باختصار تتوقعوا ان انت تحدد الصورة ديت او تحدد نوعها ايه بيشتغل ازاي في الباك جراوند as a machine learning model. او ازاي ان هي بتحدد الحاجات اللي موجودة في الصورة. يعني انت لو بتصور مثلا طاولة عندك في البيت وعليها ازازة مية، عليها كتاب، عليها قلم، ازاي هي بتعمل identify للindividual objects. The other question, which is how could we program this? يعني تتوقع ازاي الحاجة دي ممكن تتبرمج. Okay, someone in the chat said, I think it dissects each image into parts and maybe verify and checks with the provided info. Yeah, that's one of the methods. Yeah, that's correct. Someone said box method. Someone else said basically scans the photo and they may translate it to markers which that compares to the other objects in the system. So basically the same answer as well. So that's great. Yes, so this is one of the applications that might help image classification or image identification. Okay, cool. Okay. So there is another game which is called Quick Draw. Have you ever tried Quick Draw before? Okay. You can find the link in the chat. So this will be embarrassing, but I'll try to showcase it for you guys. Okay. So it's a game provided by Google to let you see how neural networks work, which is another technique of machine learning. So basically how the machine learning identifies different objects. So let me show it to you guys. Okay, cool. Can you guys see the screen? Oh, yeah, okay. Laila is saying, I draw a brain. It says it's a cloud and then a frog. Yeah, so basically that's it. Let us try to draw something. Yalla, let's go. Basically, it will give you different prompts to draw different objects, and the machine learning model will try to predict what you are drawing in real time. So let's try it together. Windmill, all right, in 20 seconds. Okay. I'm very bad at drawing.
Or square. I see bucket. Or paint can. Or soda can. Or lock. I see cooler. Or bed. Oh, I know. It's windmill.
Okay, I don't know how it guessed it, but thank God it guessed it. So basically, so what happened here? When you draw, it predicted in real time. So بالعربي اللعبة دي باختصار هي بيديك 6 drawings 6 رسمات ترسمهم في أقل من 20 ثانية. والماشين ليرنينج الذكاء الاصطناعي بيحاول يتنبأ باللي انت بترسمه قبل ما انت تخلص. تمام؟ فدي واحدة من الابليكيشنز اللي ممكن نستخدم فيها الماشين ليرنينج. تعالوا نخلص الست ديت. swing set. I'm very bad at drawing. Okay.
I see line.
Maybe that's a needle.
I see seesaw. Or
Seesaw,
golf club.
okay.
Or street light. Or rig. I see clarinet. Or toothpaste. Sorry, I couldn't guess it.
That's one of 6 so far. Okay. I didn't know how to draw it. Let's see at the end how it tries to predict if it's something or not. It's really fun at the end. Okay, let's draw a monkey. Oh man. Okay.
I see moon.
That's a face.
Or circle. I see satellite.
It's a hand.
Or spoon.
It's
Or
a
banana.
leg.
Or elephant. I see dog.
I don't know
I'm
how
not
to.
sure what that is.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry, I couldn't guess it.
Okay. Okay, let's draw a belt really quick.
I see line. Or bench. Or garden hose. Oh, I know. It's belt.
Okay, cool. Tennis racket. Okay. Okay, let's try to draw a tennis racket then.
I see ear. Or moon. Or circle. Or lollipop. Or spoon. I see stop sign. Oh, I know. It's tennis racket.
Okay, cool. Okay, so stethoscope, which is the earpiece thing that the doctor uses to examine patients. So let's try it.
I see elbow. Or mustache. Oh, I know. It's stethoscope.
Okay, cool. So at the end, it says the neural net figured 4 out of 6 of your drawings, but it saw something else in the other 2. Select one to see what it saw and visit the data to see different drawings, about 50 million drawings made by other real people on the internet. So basically, you can see here the drawings, and you can see here that have a correct mark or a wrong mark, that it guessed it or not. So if we open, for example, one which is wrong, you can see this is yours, and this is the predictions that it saw based on your drawing, because it guesses, right? So the first guess was a lighthouse, and you can see the comparison, and a toothpaste as well, and a fire hydrant. But you can see here different people that swing set. Okay, I wrote it sewing, like خياطة. All right, cool. So I completely made it wrong, but these are real submissions of real people that did the prediction, and it takes these data and try to compare it to the original data. So basically, I draw something completely different. So it couldn't find a correlation between the data which is already existing and the data that I provided. Let's go to something which is correct, for example. So if I open belt, so the guesses, it shows you the correct guess, and the second closest match, you can see it is like a wristwatch or a bandage, لزقة جروح. And you can see the other submissions that people submitted as well. So you can see here different people draw different ways of drawing a belt, and it takes these data and try to determine which my drawing is closer to it, and if it's correct or not. So it's a really, really fun game. You can try it on your own. For me, I provided the perfect example since I can't draw well, and I understood one of them completely wrong. So see in the others as well, you can see the same thing. It tried to predict different things, and you can see different people trying to interpret a drawing of a monkey in different ways. Okay, awesome. So back to our session. So this is another example of how machine learning or AI predicts things. You provide it with data, and from the data, it determines which the new data is valid or not. Right, cool. Let's continue. So we answered these questions really fast. How does the game work? How is it recognizing your drawings? How could we program this? We can see in the future as well. So we discussed how does the game work. You draw and it tried to provide guesses until it predicts the correct one, and how it recognizes your drawings based on more than 50 million drawings from real people that did the same thing, and try to calculate with all these data and determine which guess should it provide, and which whether the guess is correct or not. Okay. جميل جدا. Okay. So we discussed this really quickly. So you can see it has a large amount of data to recognize the images. And as you can see in this example, there is a lot of images of the same object, which is a carrot. So whenever someone draw a carrot, it should guess whether it's a carrot or not. Okay, cool. So you may be already familiar with traditional programming. When you start with a goal, write the logic, and refine through testing until it works the way you want it. When your problem, you design it, you implement it, and you test it until you get the results that you need every time. So imagine if you tried to describe a carrot from the previous example in the same way you describe would you describe it using traditional programming rules, right? So you can see here if the carrot, for example, greater than between 10 and 15 centimeters, maybe if it's orange or yellowish, if it's like a cone shape, stuff like that. So if you try to do it that way, this approach will be very, very complicated, especially if you want to account for all the possible ways someone can draw a carrot, right? So this won't be feasible, or at least easy to maintain, easy to develop either. So now with machine learning, it's another approach to building software. Instead of programming instead of programmers creating the rules, a model is trained with examples, rather than trying to define for the computer with a carrot is and account for all the possibilities. The computer is giving lots of varying examples, like you saw in the quick draw data, and told this is a carrot and or not. It determined. So you have a goal, you train the model using the examples, and you refine until the goals are met. All right? So basically, you provide a lot of data, and these models try to predict based on the previous data what is the new data, if it's valid or not. This approach is a lot more flexible. Okay, awesome. I see that a lot of people are really trying to score 6 out of 6 in the quick draw game. Awesome. Okay, cool. So do you kind of understand machine learning more now using an interactive game? There is a lot of applications that you can try and explore as well. Maybe I will provide you with other resources later on. Okay, cool. So let's have quick questions and let's discuss them together, all right? Okay, so we did a little poll, and what do you think, which approach can be used in alphabetizing a list of song titles? Okay. So basically, if you have a list of song titles and you want to order them based on the alphabets order, what should you use? Rule-based approach, which is the traditional way of developing software, or machine learning approach? What do you think? I can see in the poll that most of the people answered machine learning. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's see the votes. We have 4 votes. 75% of them said machine learning, and one of them said rule-based. So let's check what is the correct answer then. Okay, it's rule-based. Can someone explain why? Okay. So so someone said it's simple to program, which is correct. Okay. Someone else said because the problem is very simple. We need to just compare the letters. Okay. Adarsh said, this task is based on given set of rules, so no need to ML. Yes, that's correct. Someone said, we need to compare the letters. Yeah, correct. Layla is replying to events. Okay, cool. Pooja is saying, because I think it's the task can be done by just using based rule without the help of previous or statistical data. Okay, so basically, these sorting something alphabetically is based on rules, right? A becomes before B and so on, right? So there are well-defined rules that we can program based on it. That's correct. And there are fixed number of letters in the alphabet as well. So there can be only so many rules would need to be written, right? يعني أنت ليه استخدمنا الرول بيزد ابروتش؟ لأن طريقة ترتيب الليست اوف songs بطريقة أبجدية معروف. الألف بتبدأ قبل الباء، الإي بتبدأ قبل السي، وهكذا. وما عندناش عدد لا نهائي من الحروف، هم عدد معين بس من الحروف، فهيبقى عندنا عدد معين بس من الرولز اللي احنا ممكن نعملها. يعني احنا مش محتاجين إن كل مرة عايزين نرتب لستة نخترع حاجة جديدة. لا، هي ترتيب اللستة شيء معروف. Right? Cool. So let's go to the second question. Let's see. Ranking web search results. So what do you think? Let's give you a poll here so you can see the results. Okay, so which approach we will be used into ranking web search results؟ لما نبحث عن حاجة في جوجل، ازاي بيعمل رانكينج ليهم؟ ايه اللي يجي قبل التاني؟ وهكذا في السيرش. Okay, let's see. Interesting. Okay, we got 11 votes this time. Okay, cool. So, So, please describe what do you see, and try to describe why did you choose role-based and why did you choose machine learning. The answers that we got 63% saying machine learning and 36% said role-based. That would be awesome if you can share your thoughts in the chat as well. All right, so should we see the answer? Okay, so why the answer can be both. Okay, so either one of them can work. The explanation for this is the approach you take would depend on your goal. Are you ranking web results based on relevance? If the answer is yes, you can show that based on the rule based, right? So basically, it depends on your goal. So are you making the web results search ranking based on the relevance? So if I wrote the word Google, I should get all the results related to Google. Okay, so if that's my goal, I can use a specific approach. For example, if the goal is just to search for an article, for example, or try to find a specific thing, you can use a combination of both. All right. So if it's based on relevance, for example, it will try to predict what is related to the word that you wrote. Okay. So if I wrote, for example, something like how to learn JavaScript, it will try to find you YouTube tutorials, it will try to find you articles, blogs, anything related to JavaScript, right? So it's a combination of both. Okay, it depends on your goals. Yes. Awesome. Let's do them very quickly. So the next one, predicting housing prices based on location. Okay, while people voting for the new question, I'll just read some comments. Someone said, I think it's ML because it would be easier for machines to predict it because it handles a larger set of data. That's correct. You can use the ML approach as well. Pooja is saying, I think machine learning because we have to collect all the data for accurate results. Okay, so Pooja is agreeing with Vance. Cool. But she said, yes, but also depends on your goals. Awesome. Leila is saying, because I got different ranking from my sister, but some results stay at the top, like maybe sponsored or optimized. Okay, that's cool. There should be a poll posted soon by the chat moderators. Okay, cool. Should be up now. Okay. So predicting housing prices based on location. So basically, if I talk to someone to predict a housing prices in a specific city, like Cairo, for example, or Dubai, or New York, something like that. Does the housing prices change? Of course, it changes based on the location, but how would you predict it? Using the traditional software development techniques or using machine learning? Okay, awesome. We are getting votes being submitted. That's great. Try to write in the chat your rationale behind your decision, whether it's a rule-based or machine learning approach. Okay, awesome. People are still voting. That's great. All right. Okay, so we got 14 votes this time. That's awesome. Every time we do one of these, it gets better and better. So that's great. Thank you for participating. So we got 71% of the votes for machine learning and 28% for rule-based. And let's see the answers and let's read your rationale behind your decision. Okay, so why it's machine learning? Because here there is no perfect formula for determining how much a home should cost, right? Based on the location. There are so many variables that differs from a place to another, right? So what we need to do is to predict the housing prices based on previous data. So based on the other housing prices that surround this area or are specific to this area, maybe it's a it's an area closer to a university or an hospital, so the house prices will be increasing. Or if it's near a farm, for example, or a distant location from the capital, for example, the prices will go down. There are so many variables that it would be very, very hard to predict accurately what the housing price is based on the location by just guessing, right? So let's see some comments here. Van said, ML due to prediction, ML can take all the factors like the environments, the taxes. So, okay, cool. So you can feed the model with all the factors that you think it will be affecting housing prices based on the location, and feed the model with all maybe a history of the housing prices for the last 50 years or 70 years or 80 years. So an enormous amount of data that it can analyze, visualize, and predict based on it the new housing prices. So Adarsh said, ML because manually setting housing prices rules for each location is really time consuming. It is not, that's correct, but it's more than time consuming. It is not feasible to do. Okay. Pooja said, I chose ML because I think it will compare the price with data provided with keeping many statistics online. Yeah, cool. Pooja said, I need to leave, so see you next session, inshallah. Okay, cool. Let's see the next question. Processing online payments. What do you think? There should be a poll coming soon, so you can see. Okay, awesome. People started voting. Some people voted for role-based. Some people voted for machine learning. If you can write in the chat your rationale behind your decision as well, so we can all benefit from it as well. Cool. All right, so we got 10 votes this time. 60% of the votes for rule-based, and 40% of the votes are for machine learning. So let's see the result. It is rule-based. So why it is a rule-based? Answered, but let me explain why quickly. So online payments are a straightforward logical process. It is well known and everything is clear based on the domain, which is processing online payments. So it's possible for a programmer to confidently program the exact steps necessary in order to process online payments. But it can, machine learning can be a part of processing online payments, but not as a whole. For example, if you take the application of fraud detection, the model will try to predict if this online payment method is valid or not, or it's actually a fraud or not, right? So it will try to know whether a credit card number was stolen or used inappropriately. This is a complex task, right, and hard to define. So that can be used with a machine learning model to be a specific part of the processing online payments, right? But as a whole, processing online payments is clear and well defined, and people tend to use role-based approach with it. So Vance said, I chose role-based because payments need very specific rules due to security, so you have to be accurate. It is not about accuracy that much, it's about whether the rules are well defined or not. If the rules are clear and they are not infinite, and it will give us, as you said, accurate results every time, then we should use the role-based model. Which said, I chose role-based approach as you don't really need any data for managing, and stepwise approach will work completely easy, hand-on job. All right, cool, awesome. But as I said earlier, machine learning can be implemented in some specific parts of processing online payments, as you can say. All right, cool. We will try to skip a lot of questions just to, and we will provide it to you later with explanations so you can see it. After the session, we will add it in the link description as well. All right, cool. So let's predefine what we learned today. So role-based approach and machine learning. For role-based approach, we know that the rules are defined, improvements come from algorithms and network. So basically improvements in terms of space and time, for example, it comes from providing a better algorithm or an efficient algorithm or a better network configuration or architecture. All right. So machine learning, it learns patterns from data. So as we say, for example, the quick draw example, fraud detection for credit card payments, for example. What can we say as well? Classifying images. If you take a picture of a scene, it will recognize different parts of the scene. and the improvements may from additional data. So every data you feed the model, it will try to improve itself and evaluate itself again. Right? So each one have its benefits. Okay, but machine learning won't be the default option for software. It's best suited for certain situations, but not all situations. Right? Cool. So let's discuss about idea to implementation. So while machine learning provides awesome and powerful new opportunities to manipulate data and visualize data and get decisions made based on previous data, implementing a machine learning system can be more complex than traditional software. This is mainly because a machine learning system is only as good as the data it trained on. So, for example, if you provide it with correct data or quality data, so the data has good quality to it, it is not missing any variables, it is accurate, etc., etc., it will provide more better results than feeding data that is missing some variables. It is not clean, it is not organized, it is not visible for development. Again, so ازاي ايه طريقة ان احنا نطبق الذكاء الاصطناعي. الذكاء الاصطناعي بيفتح لنا ابواب كتير ان احنا نعمل حاجات كتير مختلفة، حاجات كتير جديدة ما كناش نقدر نعملها قبل كده. بس ممكن التعامل مع الماشين ليرنينج سيستمز ممكن يبقى معقد اكتر من الطريقة العادية اللي احنا بنعمل بيها ديفلوب السوفت وير. لأن مثلا يعني كمثال عام، الماشين ليرنينج موديل هيعمل تنبؤات بناء على الداتا اللي هو خدها قبل كده. فلو الداتا اللي خدها قبل كده ديت عندها كفاءة عالية، دقيقة، مرتبة بشكل كويس، مش ناقصة variables، مش ناقصة حاجة، لو الداتا الكواليتي بتاعتها كويسة هيطلع لك predictions ليها كواليتي عالية، غير لما تدي الموديل أصلا داتا مش مترتبة، مثلا داتا ناقصة فيها حاجات، داتا مش دقيقة في الحسابات بتاعتها، داتا قليلة مثلا، داتا ناقصة، الحاجات دي. فهو الماشين ليرنينج موديل لما انت بتيجي تدربه بيبقى على أحسن ما يمكن لما انت توفر له أحسن داتا ممكن من حيث الكواليتي، من حيث الجودة بتاعت الداتا. تمام؟ تعالوا نشوف الفيديو السريع ده ونناقشه مع بعض سوا. Let's see this video and try to discuss about it.
Suppose you have a great business idea and you've already gone through the effort to frame it as a machine learning problem. What next? How does your idea become a working machine learning solution? The process has 3 phases: data, modeling, and production. In the data phase, you identify the input data that your machine learning system needs to make successful predictions. Data may come from databases, log files, web pages, and even other machine learning systems. Once you identify data inputs and sources, you use statistical tools to draw insights about the data. The better you know your data, the more useful hypotheses you can make. Data rarely comes in an ideal state. Data needs to be collated, possibly by joining different data sources, and cleaned for the machine learning model to work optimally. Cleaner data results in better predictions. For a machine learning problem, you start with the input data and convert it into features. Features are key properties of the data. For a supervised machine learning problem, you transform the outcome into labels. Labels represent the intended output of the machine learning system. Joining data sources, cleaning the data, and engineering the features and labels takes time. Plan on spending a large portion of your time in the data phase. Modeling phase. Along with the features and labels, you set up the kind of machine learning system needed, called the model. Researchers have created all sorts of machine learning models, from simple to complex. Some models classify data. Other models predict numeric values. Tools like Google's TensorFlow support many types of machine learning models for various uses. Before a model can make predictions, it needs training, which is like sending the model to school. First, there are lessons to learn from the data. Along the way, there are quizzes to check knowledge and correct any misunderstandings. In the end, there's a final exam. When training the model, you split the data into 3 sets: training, validation, and test. The training set corresponds to lessons. Here, the model processes data for the first time. It starts to infer patterns in the data to help make predictions. After you've trained the model once, you quiz it using the validation set. Based on how well the model does on the quiz, you may decide to adjust the model settings, or hyperparameters, which are like dials and switches for changing the model's behavior, and retrain the model again to give it the quiz again. The goal is to iteratively find settings that provide the best model quality on the validation set. When the model meets your success criteria, it's time for the final exam. Feed your model the test set. If the model predicts well, it passes the course and is ready for real use. Once your ML system is ready for the world, it's time to move the system into production. For starters, your system may need integration into a product. You need to figure out what this integration looks like and whether your model interacts with users. Models may need retraining on a regular basis with new data to pick up on new patterns or trends. This training could come from new data sets or from interactions with users. The system needs monitoring. This means tracking system outages, errors, data processing volume and speed, and how successfully it predicts results. Machine learning systems also require maintenance. As with any production system, this means fixing bugs, adding features that didn't make it into version 1, and the like. Machine learning specific maintenance could include testing other models and settings to see if performance improves.
Okay, awesome. So, what do you think about this video, and what did you learn from it, which is interesting to you? طيب يا شباب، عشان نراجع على الفيديو تاني، ممكن نمشي نشوف عليه شوية شوية. يعني احنا لو شغلنا الفيديو تاني هنا وشفنا الفيديو، باختصار عندنا 3 مهام رئيسية في الماشين ليرنينج. عندنا الداتا، وعندنا الموديل، وعندنا البرودكشن. ماشي. الداتا دي البيانات اللي انت بتديها للموديل عشان يعمل عشان يحللها، مش كده؟ تمام. ديت هو بياخدها بقى، بيقعد يحللها وبيشوف إذا كانت الداتا كويسة ولا مش كويسة والحاجات دي كلها. تمام. بعد كده هو بيعمل كلين للداتا، لازم نعمل كلين للداتا ونعمل فيجوالايز للداتا ونظبطها ونعمل كل حاجة تبقى كويس. وبعدين بيروح يشوف الداتا، يحللها ويشوف ايه المميزات بتاعتها. يعني شايفين الصور اللي هنا، لما انت تديله صورة ازاي يقدر يعمل قصة عليها. لو عندنا نمر مثلا، عندنا elephant، يشوف. دلوقتي في حاجة مهمة عندنا في في الموضوع ده، إن الموضوع ده بياخد وقت. فأهم حاجة إن أنت تطلع الداتا بتاعتك كويسة من البداية عشان ما تضيعش وقت كتير. تمام. والداتا ديت في النهاية بتتحلل بموديل اللي هو الجزء التاني. الموديلز دي طرق ناس عملوها عشان تقسم. الموديلز دي بتستخدم في طرق مختلفة إن هي تعمل تحليل الداتا أو تشوف الداتا بتبقى عاملة إزاي. تمام. فالداتا الموديل بيعمل إيه؟ باختصار بياخد الداتا، يعمل لها analyze وvalidate وتست. تمام. فالداتا عندنا بنقسمها لثلاث حاجات: training وvalidation وتست. ماشي. training اللي هندرب الموديل على الداتا ديت، والفاليديشن زي كويزز هنا في الاكزامبل. يعني هنديها شوية كويزز صغيرة نشوف هل هي بتعمل التنبؤ صح ولا لا. لو هي بتعمل التنبؤ بنسبة كبيرة غلط، بنرجع نعمل evaluation للداتا تاني، نقعد نعدل بعض الحاجات، نعدل بعض الفاريبلز عشان الموديل يظبط معنا. ولما بيعدي مرحلة الفاليديشن بيروح للمرحلة النهائية واللي هي التستنج. بيتأكد بقى بعد ما الفاليديشن ده يعدي، اللي هو زي الكويزز لما نيجي نشوفها في المدرسة مثلا، ندي كويزز في الأول وبعد كده في فاينل إكزام. الفاينل إكزام ده عامل زي التستنج. التستنج بقى بنشوف هل هو جاهز إن هو يتحط بقى في سيستم ويبدأ يشتغل ولا لأ كبرودكشن. تمام. برودكشن ده اللي هو الجزء الثالث بعد ما الموديل بتاعنا يعدي التستنج. نشوف بقى هنعمل له انتجريت ازاي مع الابليكيشن او السيستم اللي احنا بنحطه فيه، اذا كان classifying images او translating text or recognizing text او fraud detection او ايا كان. بس طبعا بعد ما بتعمل تحط حاجات في البرودكشن، احيانا حاجات غلط بتحصل. مثلا بيكون عندك باجز، بيكون محتاج له مينتننس دايما. طبعا زي اي سيستم تاني لازم يبقى فيه مينتننس. وبتقعد تطور على الموديل اكتر باكتر. كل ما داتا جديده بتجيله انت بتحسنه وبتطوره عشان يبقى احسن. اتمنى الجميع يكون فهم الفكره العامه بخطوات الماشين ليرنينج ازاي بيشتغل. فاللي هو احنا خلينا نشوف بعض الكومنتس ان الناس ساب. Van said, I like how they stressed that it needs maintenance. Yes, everything needs maintenance, especially in software development. Like it was said before, if people aren't careful with answers question, then your model can go wrong. So we need quality check too. Yeah, that's correct. Someone else said, I remember a few years ago, people started feeding Google information by posting the picture of a potato and naming it the name of an American president on Reddit. That's interesting. I guess that would be really funny, I guess. And Google started showing potatoes for researchers of that president name. Awesome. Cool. أتمنى الكل يكون فاهم الفكرة العامة. just to iterate again, machine learning begins with the need of your user or business. أول حاجة أنت بتشوف المستخدم بتاعك محتاج إيه بالظبط، لأنك في النهاية بتعمل السيستم ده عشان اليوزرز بتوعك يستخدموه صح. فأنت لازم تعمل حاجة Okay. Sorry guys, the session got disconnected. Just to confirm if you can hear me well. In the chat. Say yes if you can see the screen. Okay, awesome. That's great. Cool. So sorry about that. So again, we focus on the user, right? With this in mind, you define an objective, right? We want to achieve this, right? And this will benefit the user in this way. صح؟ يعني أول حاجة إن إحنا بنشوف اليوزر عايز إيه، بعد كده بنحط الهدف بتاعنا. الهدف ده المفروض هينفع اليوزر بالشكل الفلاني 1 2 3. بعد كده يعني مثلا كمثال as an example of defining the object, you can say predict which friends a user is likely to share a photo with. أو مثلا suggest the user should eat in a new city based on restaurants they have visited in the past. يعني مثلا حاجة من الحاجات اللي احنا ممكن نختارها، أنا عايزك تتنبئ لي لو أنا عملت شير لصورة معينة تظهر عند مين في الفيد بتاعته مثلا، أو مين الناس المهتمين إن هم يتابعوا محتوى أنا بقدمه. يعني مثلا لو أنا بقدم محتوى مثلا أنا مهتم بالسيارات مثلا، فبحط صور سيارات وكده، فلو في ناس مهتمة بالسيارات وكده المفروض يظهر لهم حاجة زي بتاعتي على الفيد بتاعتي. أوكي، فديت تخلي الناس تبقى engaged في الكونتنت، تبقى على طول شغالة وعلى طول بتتفاعل. أو حاجة تانية مثلا if I visited a lot of Indian restaurants before, and if I move to a new city, maybe Google Maps will suggest me that there is a new Indian restaurant in town and have, for example, 4-star ratings مثلا أو 5-star ratings. So it will suggest you something based on your history or your previous data provided. Okay. Okay, cool. So after you have defined the objective, and you collected the data, now you have to train, validate, and test your model. If the data is correct, if the data is clean, if the data has a good quality, and run it through the validation. If it passes the validation, it should go to testing. If it fails in testing, it should go back to validation and training, and so on. After the majority of the trained results are correct or have a higher accuracy than we suggested, it should go to predict and evaluate real data. And whenever it receives a new data and validate it to be correct or wrong, it should be added to the collected data as well, because it will learn from new data. All right? Cool. So I hope everyone understood the basic concepts of how the machine learning process works. Is everything clear? كل شيء واضح؟ عندكم أي أسئلة ممكن تكتبوا في الشات. Okay, great. So I think that's enough for today. Just a quick recap. We discussed what is machine learning. We tried and explored different ways of implementing machine learning, or how do they use it in the real world. And we had a little bit of fun, as you can say, using the Quick Draw platform and draw together. We knew how these system works, of how to predict and validate if they predicted wrong or correct. We had quick questions to see different real-world scenarios, how they would use it using role-based approach or the machine learning approach. And we saw the general machine learning process of how it works. Okay, this video will be up on YouTube after the session. You can replay it again and stay tuned. Please join the WhatsApp group to continue in our track. You can find the WhatsApp group link in the description, in the video description. We will post there some exercises, fun exercises, more questions of the questions that we solved here together. And let's discuss and try to learn together and improve together. We will provide you with external resources on the WhatsApp group, so stay tuned for that as well. All right?
Okay.
So thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Abdelrahman, for today's session. Thank you everyone. وشكرا للجميع على السيشن. لسه عندنا آخر جزء. We have one last part before we end the session. It's important for the upcoming sessions and as we said, the Qwiklabs track. If you are interested in Qwiklabs track and you want to know what it is, so we will explain it in 10 minutes. Okay, Abdelrahman, thank you for today's session. شكرا لعبدالرحمن على وقتك وشكرا للجميع على وقتكم. خلوني أشرح آخر جزئية بتاعت الكويكلابس. لو تخليني يا عبدالرحمن أعمل شير السكرين to be great. طيب, while sharing my screen, you may check out the links below in the description. Everything related there. طيب, let me share the screen. اوكي طيب يا جماعة، وبالنسبة للمينا تراكس تشالنج هيكون في تحدي و challenges in December، في شهر ديسمبر provided by Google using Qwiklabs platform. For those who don't know Qwiklabs, let's just quickly explain what's Qwiklabs and explain what's our tracks and how we can compete and get the gifts. طيب يا جماعة باختصار Qwiklabs challenge هو supported من جوجل and they provide gifts، بيوفروا هدايا للي يخلصوا التراكس. خليني الأول أشرح إيه Qwiklabs باختصار. هي جوجل كلاود بلاتفورم، يعني recently obtained by Google. تمام. It's mostly focusing on the practical work، يعني you learn from it of course, but you're not focusing on the theoretical part. You're focusing mostly on the practical side, and it's really beginner friendly. يعني you don't have to know previous knowledge about the topic you want to learn. مش مشروط عليك تعرف أي معلومات سابقة عن التراك اللي أنت عايز تبدأ فيه، سواء ماشين ليرنينج، سواء ويب ديفلوبمنت، سواء كلاود كومبيوتينج، أي تراك. It's totally beginner friendly, and the most important part is no setup required, like no hardware required, nothing required. They provide you with all materials you need to finish the labs and the quests you need to learn. And that's really helpful, especially for students who doesn't have maybe the required hardware or setup to start learning. Sometimes when you start learning something, you stuck in this phase. So Qwiklabs solves this as well. And Qwiklabs has badges you will earn whenever you finish any quest for your choice. And these badges as well, like recognized really well by organizations and companies, and they really got in your certificate as well. طيب يا جماعة، باختصار الكويك هو بيركز على الشغل العملي مع الشغل النظري. بيكون سهل جدا للمبتدئين، مش متطلب أي معلومات سابقة أو أي هاردوير أو سيت اب جاهز، وبيخليك تكسب badges على كل كويست تخلصه. For every badge you earn for every quest, sorry, you earn a badge, and whenever you finish set of quests you finish a track and get a gift. So let me explain quickly what is a track and what's all about. So you'll see in Qwiklabs, if we in Qwiklabs together, you'll see many quests, okay, and each quest like focus on one thing, like machine learning with TensorFlow, for example, and one is introduction to machine learning APIs or stuff like that. So we have a set of tracks we will display today, but each track consists of 5 quests. Okay, you have to finish them in order to finish a track. So as we said here at the top, a track consists of 5 quests, and quests consist of يعني normally 5 labs, maybe 4, maybe 6. And what is a lab? Exactly, it's a lesson about something. So maybe this lab will be a lesson. You will learn how to use something in particular, like for example, how to create a virtual machine, or how to use G-Cloud commands. Some small lessons. When you finish them, you finish a quest and you earn your badge, and you do the same for 5 quests and you finish a track within the time limit. Okay, let me guys know if I'm going quickly or you don't understand things. Stop me please. And yeah, these are the tracks we have for this month, December. We have a track for machine learning, DevOps, security, big data, and web app development. What else? Yeah, whenever you finish any of these tracks, based on your choice, you can choose whatever you like. And whenever you finish the quest within December, you earn a swag box. And as we said, swag box is a package with gifts from Google. يعني they usually be random, but usually they provide t-shirts and similar stuff. Okay. Let me see, guys. At this point, is everything is clear about the tracks and Qwiklabs? We will explain it already in every session we do, so don't worry if you stuck in anything. Just say to me and I'll repeat, no worries. Okay. Okay, I think it's clear so far. So these are our plans for December. We will have like 8 sessions, and these are the dates. Like we will do two sessions every week, and our next sessions will not be like today's session. Today's session was very great, theoretical part, but most of the upcoming sessions will be practical work using Qwiklabs. Usually we'll explain how to use Qwiklabs, how to learn from it, and some tips about all the tracks. Yeah, not only machine learning. We will take machine learning track as an example, but usually we'll give you some general feedback and tips about all the tracks. So if you are interested, make sure to register in our communities, in the GDC community. You will find it in the description below. Okay, and last thing is yeah, I think that's it. So thank you very much, guys, and I think we are on time. So if you have any questions before we end the session, it would be great, and thank you all for attending today. Okay, let me see. If we finish more than one track, will we get more gift box? Sure, you can. يعني إذا خلصت أكتر من track, if you are interested in more than one track, you can freely يعني discover whatever you want. And whenever you finish a track, you fill in the form. So you fill it twice basically, or 3 times, based on how many tracks you finish within December. Yeah, and they will provide you with gift box for each track. Okay, thank you guys all. Thank you. I think things will be more clear in next sessions. And we will go tutorials on Qwiklabs and how to start, how to know like the usual mistakes that everybody does and how to avoid it. So yeah, let's not take much of your time. Thank you today for attending, and see you inshallah on the next sessions. Make sure that you are joining our WhatsApp group for all announcements. Thank you guys. See you inshallah next session.